both Chad and Marcus are confirmed positive, so they'll go through the COVID protocol.
Questions?
Mike, can you update the status of Chris Letang, who maybe was formerly immunocompromised as well?
I should have added him. I forgot. Sorry. So Tanger has been cleared for the protocol. He had his last cardiac screening this morning, and so he'll have an off-ice workout today. He'll skate tomorrow, and then I would anticipate he joins the team on Wednesday. So he's been cleared.
Mike, with some of this news, with COVID, you brought up P.O. Joseph. I'm curious, what did you like from what you saw from him last season when he was in the NHL, and what we have to do more of to maintain a more regular role here?
So we really like P.O.'s game. He's a good two-way player. He defends well. He has good mobility. He's got a long reach. He has good offensive instincts. He can help us on a breakout. He makes good outlet passes. He joins the rush well. He's active on the offensive blue line. So we like his overall two-way game. As far as what he has to do, he just needs to bring a little bit more consistency to his game. But we're really excited about how far P.O.'s game has come. He's a great kid. He's a hard-working guy. He loves hockey, and he's getting better. He's been knocking on the door here for a while, and so we're excited about his overall two-way game, and so he's always part of the conversation when we're discussing lineups, whether it be the top 6 or 7 that we have. So for obvious reasons with the 2 guys going down with COVID, we've got Hexy was made the decision to call him up, and now he's in the conversation on whether or not he was in the lineup.
Wes?
Mike, are either Chad or Marcus symptomatic?
So Marcus has shown some signs of symptoms. To this point, Chad has not.
Mike, what's the thinking behind playing Dumoulin on his offside with Matheson?
We're trying to find a pair that that can bring us consistent play against another team's top line, and so we move different guys around. We don't have somebody has to play the offside, and so we're just exploring different options, whether we have Dumo and John Marino, or we have Mike Matheson and Dumo. If we go with that pair, obviously one of them has to play the offside. So we're trying to find combinations that give us some balance. Obviously when Chris comes back into the equation here, it's going to change the dynamic. But in the meantime, like today, for example, it was an opportunity for us to just explore a different option.
Josh?
Mike, how often do you speak with your players in terms of how to live their lives, in terms of COVID prevention? Are you happy with what everyone is doing, and is it just kind of bad luck more than anything when you get guys that test positive?
I think it is. We've had a number of conversations with our guys over the last couple of years. I go back to last year, nobody was vaccinated. We didn't have a single case. And the players, they exercise so much discipline through the course of the year and limiting their exposure to try to mitigate the risk. This is a little bit different this year because there's some semblance of normalcy. The protocols aren't mandated. And so, but I think our guys do a really good job in just using common sense. And I think unfortunately for us, we've gotten it a few times. I don't think it's because guys aren't diligent or aren't doing the right thing. I just think this is part of the world we're living in right now. And so, but we do have those conversations with our guys fairly frequently.
2 more, Mike?
Mike, scoring goals isn't the only way to evaluate a player's performance, but it is one way. Capman's still looking for his first goal so far this season. I'm curious just how you would evaluate how he's performed through the first 8 games.
So I think Cappy's game has just been inconsistent. I think there's been some games, where he's played really well, and I think his, he has an impact. You notice him. His speed is noticeable. He's a threat when he's on the ice. He makes good decisions with the puck, and he's had other moments when he hasn't. He's gotten away from it. And we're trying to find ways to help him through this process. He's obviously an important player for us, and certainly he's a guy that that we have high expectations for. So we'll continue to work with him through this process to try to help him capture his best game. But it's just been a little bit inconsistent to this point. He's had some games when he's played well, and it just hasn't gone in the net for him. And then he's had others where he's gotten away from it a little bit.
Last question, Mike.
I just want to follow up with Chris Letang. We've seen a big difference with guys who are symptomatic versus asymptomatic. Like Jeff Carter, I think 10 days later he was ready to play in a game. Zach Asmussen took 20 days. How quickly do you feel like he'll be ready to jump back and actually play a game?
Well, time will tell. I think you're right in the sense that everybody's a little bit different in how it affects them. And so, I don't know that we can, put all the symptomatic guys in the same, in the same bubble, and the asymptomatic guys. The asymptomatic guys, they can work out and ride the bike and exercise through the process, and I think that really helps them when they get back on the ice. Carts, for example, Jake was in a similar boat there. But the symptomatic guys, everybody's a little bit different, so it's hard for us to anticipate how long it's going to take to get him back in the lineup. Hopefully, we can get Tanger on the ice tomorrow, and then he can join the team on Wednesday. We'll see where he is at that point, and we'll make decisions accordingly. But it's a tough one to answer because everybody's affected differently.